Hello and welcome to day 72 on the Pacific Crest Trail. Today was full of many delightful challenges. So we started off very early, probably the earliest time since Whitney. I woke up at about 3:30 and left at about 4:30. Luckily all the mosquitoes were still asleep pretty much, so it wasn't too harrowing in terms of getting out of the tent. And it started off quite well. I wanted to get to Selden Pass by about 9:30 just to kind of avoid as much post-holy snow as possible, and I did manage that. I managed to get there about 9, even though I took a bit of a detour, and of course it was all on purpose, but I ended up on the John Muir Trail, which meant that I ended up about, I think it was 300 feet lower than I should have been, and I needed to climb, I think it was 700 feet in just under a mile to get back onto trail. So that was a fun, like, midway through the start of the day. I definitely noticed the difference in the trails. It was quite interesting. And then going on with the day, the lakes on the way to Selden Pass were just exquisite. Like, the first set kind of reminded me of what an ornate garden wants to be like. Just really kind of calm and serene and pretty kind of flowers and gentle little, tiny little streams running everywhere. And then the second one was just so calm, so peaceful, still and quiet. It was, just really serene. And then the hike up wasn't too strenuous. I mean, nothing was in the rest of the day compared to the John Muir Trail. But then the views for the top were great. Like, they just encompassed all of the things you've just walked through. So both of the lakes, the mountains in the background. Really, really nice. I did struggle to find the trail a little bit after summiting Selden Pass, just because there was quite a bit of snow everywhere and it was quite windy, but I rock hopped around and found my way. And then, so that was the first kind of challenge that I was preparing myself for. And then the second one was Bear Creek, which I think, like, Far Out was saying that it's one of the most infamous river crossings or water crossings on the whole trail. So I was quite nervous going up to it, to be honest. Luckily there was someone else in front of me, so I wasn't completely alone. And if things were really bad, we could have, like, paired up and kind of held on to each other as we went across. But luckily, by the time I got there about 11 a.m, it wasn't too bad. The current was really strong, and the water was probably up to about, like, my upper thigh, I guess. But yeah, managed to make it across fine, no real issues. So that was reassuring. And then I'd kind of finished all the big things. So the whole day was in preparation, waking up that early to get those two big things out of the way. And then, so I was basically done by 11. I had another, like, 5 miles to hike just to get to where I was planning on camping. So initially my plan was to kind of celebrate the big day, and all of the big challenges out of the way, have some kind of a siesta straight afterwards, like an early lunch, especially seeing as I'd woken up early. But my plans were foiled by there being mosquitoes everywhere. Because the trail goes so close to a river for most of today, there were just mosquitoes wherever you went, regardless of how sunny it was. And even now, as I'm hiding in my tent again, they surround me. As do ants, actually. I think I'm camped on top of an ant hill or ant nest, so that's fun. Maybe they'll keep each other company. Anyway, so yeah, by the time I'd finished the two things, I was a bit drained, but I think it was more because of the fact that I didn't get to have a siesta. I was a little bit disappointed that I didn't get to kind of celebrate in that way. My legs felt surprisingly good, and have throughout the day. I think it's the first time I've done, like, 2 20-mile days in a row, or 20 plus miles. So that was really cool, especially given all the elevation gain, because it was a lot of up and down today, again, especially with the John Muir Trail. So yeah, really reassuring there. Excited to keep kind of pushing it. And then, so yeah, got camped about 2 p.m. Luckily there's signal here, so I uploaded all of my YouTube videos from the last few days, and I'll upload this one afterwards as well. So yeah, did that and then waited until dinner time, really, which was about 5, half 5. I was very hungry, and yeah, waiting now for the early night to begin, just waiting for the sun to go down, really. It's about 20 past 6. I should say as well, I think I mentioned that VVR, Vermilion Valley Resort, is where I'm headed tomorrow. And I mentioned a ferry, and that's because it's across a lake. I'm not going to get the ferry in, I'm going to hike in tomorrow, so it's about 8 miles walking in, and then hopefully we'll be able to get the ferry out tomorrow. I think initially the plan was to go in and out tomorrow, but I have a feeling that the rest of the gang, because they're still behind, they're not going to get in until the late afternoon, so they'll want to spend the night. So I think it'll end up being kind of 2 Neros, where I only do 8 miles and only about 0.7 miles on trail tomorrow, and then however far we get out of VVR the next day afterwards. But yes, so small hike into VVR tomorrow, bit of a relaxing day, resupply, all that jazz. I will see you tomorrow.